Success is a weird thing. Success teaches you things that failure probably never will. It literally tests your soul. People obsess over tactics and strategies, and I don't blame anyone. That's what the gurus tell us. Like, hustle more, strategize, have a strategy, have a solid strategy, hack the algorithm. Just hustle, make yourself visible, do more, push more, and eventually you will succeed. But no one teaches you how to hold the success, how to sustain the success once it comes without actually losing yourself. No one tells you how to stay human when the world rewards you for being a machine. And no one teaches you how to remain you when your identity starts merging with your achievements. Today I'll tell you how I built a 1 million audience business and almost lost myself. So for those of you that don't know me, my business name is Zenfluent Maria. I'm a confidence and communication coach, and I coach people on how to make English their biggest asset. So I'm basically working with non-native English speakers. Anyway, 3.5 years ago now, I decided to go all in on starting my own business on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I start creating content at scale because I've been watching a lot of videos and a lot of gurus which tell you, content is everything. And I'm not saying it isn't. Absolutely it is. It was what got me to where I am. But there are different sides to it that we're going to be discussing today. Anyway, so I start creating content a lot. And within 6 months, I start going viral. First, I went viral on TikTok. Then I went viral on Instagram. And from that moment on, it was just unbelievably fast. So I was waking up with 80K new followers. My videos were going viral. Everything was chaotic. People started following me a lot. This was the moment that I started creating my courses. It was just like, it felt like I'm being rewarded for the hard work, but it was something else that I'm going to tell you right now. So the thrill, like on the outside, it looks like you've made it, but on the inside, it was a completely different story. This is how it looked like on the outside. On the outside, I built a 1 million audience. I built influence. I built a brand. I built momentum. I built proof that I can play the game, right? And somewhere in that process, without me actually realizing it, I began to disappear inside. I began to disappear into a role that I created for myself. I felt disconnected from the very thing I built. And the funny thing is, I didn't crash because things were going badly. I crashed because things were going good. And that is a very specific kind of pain, unexplainable, because you can't talk about it. Why are you complaining? You are winning. That's what it would look like on the outside. You're winning. What the hell are you talking about? But winning the wrong game is a special kind of pain, which translates to slowly but surely losing yourself. Okay, so the first lesson I learned from this experience was that strategy without alignment means self-abandonment. If you're a creator watching this, if you're someone who wants to build their own business, who wants to help people, serve people, whatever your reason is, I want you to ask yourself, what is the motivation for what you want to create? Or even if you are in the business, like, what is your motivation? What is the deeper motivation? And to be able to ask these questions, you need to talk deeply with yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror. Because if you're building from survival mode, then the strategy that you think you're having is your shield. That strategy will protect you from slowing down. It's going to protect you from questioning everything. It was going to protect you from feeling. I was praised for my consistency, for my discipline, for the momentum I was able to create. Because I could produce on command. I was a machine. That's how I was able, like I was a content machine. And at some point, I remember I was a guest on a podcast and I told the host, like I was like proud to be a content machine. I was like, I can do content like this. I was proud to be called a content machine. I knew exactly what goes viral. I could see something, I could have an idea, and I immediately switched and made it viral in my mind and then completely recreated it, and it went viral. So I knew what my audience wanted. I knew how to feed the machine. I knew how to feed the algorithm, but I stopped asking a more important question, which was, what do I want to say? What do I want to say? What do I want to say? Because strategy can get you so far, but strategy without you being aligned with how you want to serve, what's your mission, what's your purpose, that is a scary game to play. That is a game that can take you to lose yourself. And strategy without being aligned, if you're just like pushing and hustling and doing more just because that's how it's supposed to be done to feed the algorithm, to go viral and to have more people following you, that alone creates the biggest disconnect. Because at one point, I did not feel like a creator anymore. I felt like a performer. I felt like a performer for a role that I did not even audition for. This feels so weird now speaking it out loud, because when strategy becomes a cage, and it did become a cage for me, I couldn't hold it anymore. Even the success that you have and the success that you're achieving starts to feel suffocating, because let me tell you, at the moment where everything was going well on the surface, on the outside, I had clients, I was winning, people were signing up to my programs, like everything was going well, but inside, I was feeling empty. I was feeling unfulfilled, and I could not understand what's happening. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? So I started trying a lot of different things, thinking that that's going to help me find what the problem is. So I went in this direction, in that direction, in this direction, pushing harder, hustling more, which even amplified the problem. So my advice to you, if you are a creator, if you are somebody who wants to get into this game, please sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is your intention? If you are creating from survival, if you are creating from this deep thirst and hunger to be someone, to get known, that is very surface level. You need more depth. What is the true aligned reason why you are creating? What is it? Lesson number 2 is attaching your identity to what you do is the biggest trap you can fall into. And I see a lot of creators, a lot of entrepreneurs fall into this trap, very tightly attaching yourself to what you do. So I became the girl who teaches English. And this wasn't just my niche. It became my entire identity. It became my worth. Like my business was my everything. The moment I went viral and the moment that everything worked on the surface was the moment that I was like, okay, this is my reward from the universe. This is my reward. I get my reward now. So I need to keep this and hold it and nurture it like my little baby. This is my label. This is who I am now. The biggest trap is that when you attach your identity to a role, you slowly become terrified of evolving. And if there's no growth, you stagnate. Because evolving and pivoting maybe and changing direction and trying different things feels like death. This is what I was dealing the past year when I realized that I've overgrown some things. I need to evolve. That felt like dying. Literally felt like dying, like losing myself. Who am I if I'm not Maria the teacher? Who am I if I'm not creating content 24/7? Who am I if I'm not hustling? Like I cannot detach from my business. I cannot go out and not think about my business. And I thought that this was something to be proud of. And I was looking at all these entrepreneurs who say, I don't sleep, I don't take time off, which if you are an entrepreneur, I know this is normal. I still do it. I'm not saying it's something that you need to be scared of. No. We all do it because that's who we are. That's like in our blood in a way. But if that becomes something that you cannot detach from, even when you're on a date or even when you're with someone you love, or simply if you don't have a moment for yourself, reading a book and not thinking and not being in your energy, in your business, like that is a red flag. That is something that you need to look at and really think about what you're doing there. I was like, I knew that something was off, but in my mind, I was like, if I stop performing the identity that everybody knows me for, then who am I? People are not going to understand. People will not, how will they see me? No, that's not safe. My nervous system was like, that is not safe. You don't go and do it. You be you. You be who you built yourself to be. For a while, I enjoyed it, but clearly I have overgrown it. And I have overgrown it very fast because that's how success came to me. So, when you reach 1 million followers, you have everything like you wanted to create and you do it in 6 months, and then you reached it and you're like, okay, so now what? And that is fast growth. And it happened to me, and I couldn't accept that, okay, we've reached a level, we have courses that are selling, we've seen how this works, 1 million followers, like literally, what's more to this? I didn't feel like I'm growing. I felt like stalled. I have outgrown that identity, and I was so afraid to let go of it. I was so deadly afraid to let go of it because I was extremely attached to it. I was holding to that identity like you hold for dear life. And even more so, I was afraid to evolve publicly. And this is something that no one talks about, because if you're not out in the public eye, if you don't build your business in the public, I think it's easier. But when you're in the public eye, fear of judgment, your validation, which may not come, are all at stake. And that is actually the prison of success. That is the biggest prison of success, because everyone loves who you are now and you don't want to disappoint them. You see always being focused externally and not being focused internally, which I'm going to come to later. But you feel like you're going to disappoint people if you change who you are, if you evolve, if you literally pivot. My soul was craving change so much that was inevitable for me to change and to evolve. Lesson number 4 is the lesson about external validation, which my entire life is very closely connected to craving external validation, which is a very dangerous thing, especially if you're building a public business. Like if you're out in the public eye, if you're building a business that actually in a way depends on validation, metrics, likes, follows, engagement, all these things, which is a pretty big lie in our industry. Because let me tell you, the moment that I had the most likes on a video and the most shares on a video, the most saves on a video, was not the moment I had the most sales. Because guess what? Likes does not equal sales. Those viral videos will never bring you a good, high quality paying client. That is a lesson I also had to learn. I thought the more likes, the more follows you get, eventually there will be somebody who, will buy from you, because that's the point. You have a business, right? But the best clients and the clients that I enjoy working with and the clients that I relate to and they relate to me, and we even create a connection outside of this work, are the clients that came to me from the content that I made from alignment, that I made when I was in my best self, not the content that I put out to perform and to go viral. The best clients came to me from content that they've deeply resonated with. And you know why? Because I deeply resonate with that content. So when you create for external validation, and by the way, external validation is something that can be so very well hidden that you may not even know that you have it. You may not even know that beneath everything, beneath the story that you tell yourself or beneath the visions and the goals that you have lies external validation. The way you can see it is, and realize if you have it, is how you react when a video doesn't go well. Or what's your reaction when you don't get the likes that you hoped for? You know, all of these things will tell you if you're craving external validation. Also, if you've been posting for a while and maybe you know that things are slow, then you know your video is not going to go viral. Maybe you're not going to get that traction, that momentum fast. If after a while you still don't get the validation, you still don't get the likes, the shares, the clients, if your motivation starts to fall, and if you're somebody who's going to be like, well, this is not for me, I'm just going to quit, you know, nothing's happening, then it means, yes, you're operating from that motivation. You need to change it. So what happened in my case when you grow, you reach that momentum, but no one teaches you how to hold the success, right? No one teaches you how to sustain it. And it overwhelms you. So it overwhelmed me. I was not ready for it. So nobody taught me what it means to hold it. When the success started slowing down, and when my videos started slowing down, because you get momentum, but it doesn't last forever. That's the reality of business. So when that started slowing down, imagine everything goes well on the inside, on the outside, on the inside, not so much. And then the outside pulls me down, stops working the way it used to. And now I'm faced with reality. Now for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, something is seriously not wrong. And that's why one of the biggest lessons of it all was strategy won't work unless your energy does. And I feel like a lot of people are so focused on strategy and, top of funnels, marketing, paid ads, whatever, focused on the technical stuff. But if inside your energy is not the one of success, meaning real success. And if your energy does not know how to hold it, if your energy is survival mode, pushing and chasing, you may just keep yourself in that pushing mode and never reach a state that you will be satisfied in. Energy is everything, guys. Energy is the one that creates. Action is what supports it. I've learned this the hard way. Energy is what creates. Action is what supports. Please remember this. Okay, next lesson that I learned is that the feminine cannot breathe in a survival-driven world. Having a business and pushing and doing all of these things, I believe, are a very masculine trait. For us women, it's a little bit different and it's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more, let's say, debatable, because I built my business on a masculine overdrive. And this is what I mean by, if you open YouTube, for example, all of the advice you're going to hear are push, hustle, work. But all of these things are doing. And you're putting yourself into the machine of doing. And doing is a masculine trait. So when a woman puts herself into that machine, I feel like she produces, plans, merges, optimizes, performs, repeats, she's put in this cycle that is not really natural for the feminine. We women are not built for that. And I very clearly understand that now. Because masculine energy is supposed to build fast, but if the feminine does not support this, if there's lack of feminine, if there's no flow, if there's no creativity, if there's no just letting go and allowing yourself to just be, then it's just force without meaning, just force without meaning. And when I was in this state of let me build a business, let me prove to myself what I can, proof, a word I want you to remember. Who are you proving? Who am I proving? Myself? Someone else? That I can? What? So I was in the energy of proving and pushing. And in this state, I silenced my intuition. And intuition is the part of me that creates, is the part of me of pleasure, desire, joy, being curious, being creative, and being in my truth. Even though I highly enjoyed what I'm doing, I highly enjoyed the business, I highly enjoyed creating content. All of these things were amazing. I enjoyed them and I woke up happier than ever. Still, it was the major energy that was supporting this was the energy of push, was the energy of force. It was enjoyment, but it was kind of pushed. I felt joyful, but it was kind of forceful. You know what I mean? It was not balanced. I was just talking to an entrepreneur. She's also a woman. And we really connected on this. And I said, listen, we're women. Like, we have cycles. I cannot create when I'm in my luteal phase. Luteal phase is just before you get your period. Like, I'm not creative at this time. And we need to really be aware of these moments, be aware of these cycles. We were not made to be productive all the time. Oh my God, this is a lesson. I have chills right now. Like, this is a lesson that hit me so hard. Like, I'm not supposed to. And if I force this upon myself, it's going to show up in one way or another. Somewhere it's going to show up. It's either going to show up on my face, it's going to show up in my cycle, something's going to be wrong, or it's just going to make me feel tired and resentful, which at many times it did. There was a time that I was resenting my clients. It's not supposed to be like that, because our nervous system cannot thrive in a constant state of performance. It's also true for men as well. Masculine without the feminine cannot sustain, but especially for us women, because eventually the body will rebel. It's going to feel soulless. Your creativity is going to be gone and you won't feel real anymore. And that's exactly what happened with me. I was tired creating from a version that wasn't real anymore. I was just trying to keep up because that's what I built and now I have to keep it up. How can I not? Like, I even had questions like, why are you so ungrateful? Like, the universe rewarded you with a volume. That's what everyone wants. That's what everyone asks for, volume. And you are being so ungrateful, like imposter syndrome at the highest. And I was like, I have to keep up. If I lose this, I lose myself. Like, I have to keep up. So yeah, pushed more, hustled more until eventually I couldn't hold it anymore. Like, I shut down. My entire system shut down. And that leads me to lesson number, I don't even know which one, but basically the universe or God, whatever you believe in, will shut down doors when you refuse to do something about it. I believe that having a business is the most spiritual thing on the planet because it is going to open you up like you never thought possible. It is going to amplify everything that is good about you, but it will also amplify the parts that you need to work on. And when you ignore your intuition, when you ignore your calling, when you're so hyper-focused on doing, creating, and whatever, life will interrupt you. Like, literally. It's gonna be quiet in the beginning, but then it's gonna get louder and louder because the more you don't listen to it, the harder it's gonna hit you. So what happened with me is things just started slowing down. It was not dead, but it was absolutely slowed down. So with that, because I was focused on external validation, my motivation dropped massively. My excitement dropped. I was dreading creating a video. It felt so heavy for me to open up the camera and film. You have no idea. I felt such big resentment to create videos like this on camera. And I just felt very heavy. I was holding on to this burden. You have no idea. Like, it felt so, so heavy. And at that time, I thought that, what's happening? What now? Like, I made it, and now what? What is the lesson that I need to learn? I was like looking up to the universe and asking, what now? Like, I'm working so freaking hard. Why can't you just reward me? What is happening? And now that I'm looking at it, of course, that those were not punishments. It was just closing a door because I refused to move. I refused to change. And I believe strongly, I strongly believe that it was just an intervention to put me on the right path, because clearly I was not going to do it myself. I had to fall apart, completely fall apart to a million pieces to start rebuilding myself the right way, the feminine way, the way that brings me real joy, calmness, flow. That is how a business should feel like, and not like a push, not like working 24/7 and this is my pride. No. I mean, nothing wrong if you are doing that and it brings you joy. You do you. Like, if that's great, if that works for you, you do you. I'm talking to the ones who will relate to what I'm talking about. And finally, something that I now very dearly, closely relate to and teach my students and my clients is that identity creates reality, not strategy. Something that I mentioned before. Your energy and your identity is what moves the needle, is what creates action, just supports that. This is the breakthrough, and this is the moment I realized I'm not in the energy of success. I am in the energy of proving, of validation, of control. And all of that brings me, like, life and circumstances acted as a mirror. So I need to change my energy. I need to change my identity. I need to pivot. It's okay to grow. It is absolutely normal, and it's actually something good. So when you grow, big and better things can happen. When your identity is built in fear, you build from fear. When your identity is rooted in alignment, and I know who I am, I know what I stand for, I don't care if the algorithm does not support it, I am creating from truth, and the right people, when they realize it, they will come to me. And it's exactly what happened. So I completely tore the identity that I built, and quietly, internally worked on myself a lot with full honesty and a lot of discomfort. And I chose to build a new identity. And once I did that, I completely transformed. Because I build from intuition. I do not build from fear. I do not build from insecurity. I completely leave it up to my feminine energy to lead. But I also allow myself a lot more moments to not choose the dopamine hit, but to really be aligned and to really allow myself joy and freedom and creativity and space to do whatever the hell I want to do. I want to read you something. So I was going through my journal, and I found something that I want to read you, and I want to finish this video with that. So let's go. I didn't burn out because of my business. I burned out from carrying the weight of everything on my shoulders. Business became my validation, my creativity, my intimacy, my connection to people, my reason to wake up. So when business slowed down, it felt like life stopped altogether. I don't want a business that thrives while I feel dead inside. I want a business that feeds my soul and still works when I rest, when I date, when I fall in love, or when I do nothing. I realized that for the past 2 years, while it felt like I'm building freedom, I was in fact an employee to my own business. An employee that worked overtime, felt frustrated, and even started hating it sometimes. I realized I don't want a digital empire. I want a real human experience, real energy, real transformation, real people. I'm painfully coming back to my why. Coming back, or realizing it for the first time. I'm not here to be another Zoom coach. I'm here to be in rooms with people, to move energy. The digital presence can be the fuel and the bridge, but not the home. This is not the end. This is the beginning.